Shalom. All praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash. Now I was watching this clip right here, and basically this dude talks about Rikers Island, which is basically in New York, and it's like a holding facility for people that are, awaiting a trial. It's like a remand center. So basically, people that are waiting to go into trial, it's like a holding facility for them, or people that are serving short sentences. But it's like a hellhole there, basically. And it's no surprise who fills that place up. It's so-called Negroes and Latinos, which are who? The Israelites. What does the scripture says? It says, Judah and Ephraim were oppressed together, it says. Meaning Judah represents the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And then the northern kingdom, which is Ephraim and all the Hispanic and Indioso tribes. All right. It says they were oppressed together. So, even here, he goes into the reason why I'm playing his clip here, because he mentions a bit of a history on it and on who owns it. And it basically goes back to a Dutch Edomite, basically, an enslaver. So even Esau's prison systems goes back to what? Slavery. All right? I mean, there's more to mention on it, but I'm going to play this here.
And as Rikers is close to 160 years that has been oppressing black and brown communities. Richard Rikers was a part of the Kidnap Club and was a judge who broke laws again and again by selling.
So he was a judge. And I've got another article here from a guy called Abraham Rikers. So I don't know if the article, because, let me just play this here anyway. Let me play this here. But anyway, the dude was a judge, basically. And pretty much he broke laws. And he goes into it. He would enslave freed Negroes, basically. Just like the movie 12 Year Slave. 12 Year Slave, Solomon Northup was actually a freed black man in the North. And then what? They captured him and put him back in slavery.
Black people was not enslaved back into slavery. In the 1930s, it was built by incarcerated people to extend Rikers. Majority of Rikers Island is built on trash. When it rains, it rains in the facility.
So it's basically a holding pit for blacks and Latinos on behalf of who? The U.S. government. Who is the U.S. government? The U.S. government is Esau's power structure, man. And that's not just in America. That's his industrial prison system is a money-making scheme for these rich, powerful, elite families. All right? And I guarantee that this family, this Rikers family, they're still very wealthy till this day, man. All right? They're still walking around here, probably might have changed their name, but they're very wealthy. All right? These are not pauper Edomites. These are like rich families that own, that go back to slavery, that own all this. So it says he kidnapped black people, then they named this jail after him. It says, from COVID-19 to unbelievable filthy facilities to deaths, the 2021 human rights crisis at Rikers Island is so bad, they even called on the White House for help. But in order to understand the NYC jail's horror, we have to go back to the 1800s, to this jail's unsurprising roots in slavery. And this name, Richard Riker, see in the video, the guy called him, I believe he called him Abraham Riker, but here it's calling him Richard Riker. All right. So it says magistrate Richard Riker owned the island. Magistrate, so he was like he said in that video, he was a, they could have got information modeled up. Like he said in that video, he was a man that worked. He was a judge, basically, magistrate. And Magistrate Richard Riker owned the island after his Dutch relative Abraham Riker, Salakia. So they did mention the right people. Abraham Riker bought it a couple of centuries back. So these guys are relatives. It says, and what was he known for? Using the Fugitive Slave Act to run the pro-slavery anti-kidnapping club. It didn't matter if a black person was free or not. When they were captured and brought before Riker in court, he was responsible for deporting them to the South before they could even get a lawyer. So they were capturing freed blacks and deporting them in the north, right? And deporting them back down south. And we all know what's going on back down south. Back down south was the reason why a lot of some Negroes escaped and went to the north. Some were actually just born in the north. So they were, some Jakes were just born free in the north. You see? But because we know what was going on in the south was just, the south was pits of hell for Jake. Jake was just in total captivity in the south. They were not free, so-called free at all. Whereas in the north, Jake could, have a bit more freedom. But guess what? This devil was capturing free Jakes in the north, bringing them to court and deporting them to the south to be enslaved again. It didn't matter if a black person was free or not. When they were captured and brought before Riker in court, he was responsible for deporting them to the south before they could even get a lawyer or witness to testify whether they were free. And of course, being a member of this club helped line his pockets. So they got rich. Today, with eerie similarities, black people are the main demographic of Rikers Island. 85% are simply locked up while awaiting trial, often because they can't afford bail. Yeah, because they can't afford the bail. Listen, man, I'm not sticking up for these Jakes. I know a lot of them have done wickedness to be in there in the first place. But then you're going to have a lot of Jakes that are in there on some bullshit charges also. They've barely done anything wrong and they're getting locked up. But because our people can't afford the bail, they keep them in there. And God knows what goes on there. They're making them work for free and all this type of stuff. It's a business. Making them make license plates for free, military helmets, whatever their jobs they have to do in there. It's like free labor, so they're keeping them in there. It says, often because they can't afford bail. When we say we want to challenge the system, it serves us to know its history. Incarceration has always been rooted in anti-black brutality. We can't change that sort of brutality through incremental or reformative change. It needs to be pulled up and destroyed from the root. All right. So this is the point in it. What did it say there? We reach Black News history. This is the point in it. The history of Rikers Island goes back to who? Richard Riker and Abraham Riker, Dutch Edomite Dutch slavers, basically, that worked in the court system. They were judges. They were a line of judges, so-called judges, and they were capturing free black men and sending them back to the south. So it's no coincidence that, like I said, 85% of the population of Rikers Island is who? Is blacks and Latinos, which is the tribes, man, which is the Israelites. So all this has got to be accounted for, so-called white man. All right. So this is Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, Edomites, Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Yeah, oppression makes a wise man mad. We are being oppressed in this society. All right. See, Esau knows, in his court system, because he knows our people don't have anything, they arrest our people on some bullshit. A lot of our people are doing wickedness, but what I mean is Esau's laws, you can get arrested for the most minor things. And because you can't post up any bail or we don't have any money to get out of it, they keep you there indefinitely. This is what these devils do, man. So it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Yeah, oppression is, if you're wise, if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, you should be mad because we're being oppressed. And it says a gift destroyeth the heart. And what's the gift? The gift is like, Esau's deals, or, Esau gives you jobs or whatever, it lulls our people to sleep. Some of our people might have government jobs and they forget the fact that they're in slavery. They forget the fact that their enemy is oppressing them. All right. And I'm going to read it here. Verse 8, it says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Yeah. The end of a thing is better than the beginning thereof. Yeah. Meaning, for example, we are at the end of our captivity. We're at the end of our slavery. That's why this society is collapsing before our eyes. This so-called white man's system is falling apart. Why? Because the Lord's bringing an end to it. So it's the end of something is better than the beginning thereof. Yeah, because imagine the Lord had us still in hardcore bondage, man. Like when we first got here, we'd all be probably dead, man. So the Lord's really ending this man's society now, you see? And he's about to begin his punishment. So we're at the end of our punishment, and Esau's just about getting ready to begin his. So the roles are getting ready to be reversed. And he's going to be in that, in that early stages of pain, man, when we first get him in. Well, he's going to be in pain for 1,000 years anyway. But that first portion of captivity, we get Esau, we're going to be putting hell on him, man. And it says, the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. And who's the patient? The patient is the Israelites, man, the brothers that believe, all right, of the Lord willing, of the hopeful elect. We are patient, man. We're patiently waiting for the downfall of the Edomites, all right? And being patient is better than being proud in the spirit, man. But the point is, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. And we are being oppressed in this society, man. All right. And when you look at every aspect of this kingdom, you know, it goes back to slavery, man. It goes back to captivity. Every facet of this kingdom goes back to slavery, man. And I wanted to read this part here. It says, Psalms 49 and 11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. This is the thoughts of these Edomites, in particular, the international bankers. You know, but all these Edomites, even on a low level, man, they're so proud. They've been ruling for, well, in their minds, they've been ruling for so long, which is really, they haven't even been ruling a full day in terms of the spiritual realm. A thousand years to the Lord is one day. So they haven't even ruled a full day, man. They've ruled what, 600 years, 700 years? Probably just a little under that. See? So, but they think they're going to continue forever. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. All right. And this is what they do. They call lands after their own names. Africa, Asia, everywhere, man. They call after in the land of Israel, you got names, road names named after the Rothschilds, you know. And also, the reason why I wanted to read that is look at the Rikers Island, Abraham and Richard Rikers. It goes back to Dutch settlers, man. All of these industries, all of these prison complexes are named after Edomites. Even in the UK, the prison complexes, majority of them are named after crackers. You know, Her Majesty's prisons, but then it will have a Edomite's name. Mr. Whitemore, Mr. Franklin, that's who they are that own it, and that's the names of these places. And who have they got enslaved in there? The Israelites. Yeah, they have other nations and their own people in there also, but for the most part, these places, these institutions were set up to enslave the children of Israel, to keep Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans in a perpetual state of bondage. All right? So you see that there, man. So let me read this here. This is James, James, let me read this here. Salakia, bear with me a second. This is James 5:1. And you know, this is the system that we're in, man. All right. Now I'm not, you know, sticking up for our people here, because our people do wickedness. That's why our people are in these predicaments. You know, but then you do have a lot of our people that are innocent, but you know that because they can't afford, they don't have no money, they can't afford to get themselves out of the situations that they're in. See? So Esau will just forever perpetually keep them in bondage and as free labor. All right. So let me read this here. This is James 5:1. Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. That's these elites. All right. They're the rich men. Weep and howl, but their miseries are getting ready to come upon them. Your riches are corrupted and your garments moth-eaten. Their riches are corrupted, like that Richard and Abraham Riker family that own Rikers Island. Their riches are corrupted, man. All right? Because how did they get it? Enslaving freed Negroes, sending them back to the South. And you know they were getting big cuts for that. Government checks and, you know, deals with pirate enslavers and things like that. So there's a lot of nasty history in this society, man. And it's all coming out. It says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. And this is what all these wicked, these international bankers, these wicked elites, all the treasure that they have, all the riches that they have is going to go back to us in these last days. That's why they have it. Because when Yahushua returns, he's going to take it all back from them. He's going to take all the wealth, going to take the planet Earth from them, off their hands. They're going to enslave them and take all the riches that they've stolen. Because what is real wealth? Real wealth is not is not the £20, 20 pounds. Real wealth is not paper money. Real wealth is gold, silver, land. All right, assets, gold, silver, land, oil. You know, the natural resource of the earth. That's wealth. And who has all that? The small hats. They've stolen it all, man. Which is all prophecy anyway. The Edomites have had their time to rule and they've taken everything. All right, beginning with their elites, but it's going to get taken back. You have heap to get treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers which you have kept, which have reaped down your field. Who are the laborers? The Israelites, or the workers of this society. Who's the workers of this society? The children of Israel. Negroes and Latinos built up America, built up the UK, built up all of Esau's society for free. All right. Behold, the hire of in slavery. Behold, the hire of your laborers, which have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, and they've kept it back by fraud. That meaning what? They haven't paid us for our labors, man. They've defrauded our people. All right. Kept back by fraud crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. All right. Who's the Lord of Sabaoth? Which Sabaoth means the Lord of the armies. That's the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And our cries go unto him. Because we know, we go into all this history. It's upsetting, man. We go into this history. We do, videos on it. We go and prophesy. We go and teach. We pray unto the Lord. That's us crying unto the Lord to come and redeem us, to bring the armies of the heavens to destroy this man. All right. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's all I'll say on it. But all the history of this society goes back some way, shape and form into slavery. Every keep saying that word, Salakia, every facet of Esau's kingdom goes back to slavery when you look into it, man. There's always an underlying evil in Esau's society, man. So, with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. Shalom.